Hello, Anna. Thank you for joining us tonight. Tonight we are going to talk about a couple of plot holes that we've thought that's happened throughout the seasons. It's going to be about sickness, and the first one we want to get into tonight is getting slashed by tainted weapons. We know that back in season one, episode two, Guts, Rick and Glenn put all this goo all over them. But at the first, they were wearing these handy dandy gloves and trench coats, and by now, 8 seasons later or 10 seasons later, they're just plunging knives and smashing rocks and poking their fingers into the eye sockets of the zombies, and there's nothing wrong. Not to mention that they're living out in the wild most of the time, and they're getting all kinds of scratches and stuff. So why aren't they getting sick? I know that they said that if you get a bite or a scratch that they'd make you turn, but these days they don't even seem to be changing. I know that whenever having a little bit of technical difficulties, so bear with us. This is our second night doing this, so I know that Negan did his little trick where he brought in the out Lucille and took her and beat the living tar out of a zombie and said that they were going to go attack Hilltop with it. And then, which we know that in the comics, the Nicholas in the issue 125, who was slashed across his back with the tainted machete, and by a savior, and he died of that wound. So, I mean, I don't know why some people die and some people don't from the tainted weapons. Season 2, episode 1. What lies ahead? Andrea stabbed a walker and blood splattered in her eye. In season 2, episode 10, 18 miles out, Shane actually killed a walker, and then he takes the same knife, and him and Rick cut their hands and start putting blood all over the place to draw the walkers to them, and they're walking away as bait. So I know that I don't know, Teresa, you have any thoughts on?
Well, I have, read a few interviews where Robert Kirkman has talked about that, and Greg Nicotero, and they explain that it's actually not the blood of the walker. It's what really turns you is getting bit in the bacteria that's in the walker's mouth that causes the infection. Like when they use those weapons and they put the guts and blood and gore and all that in the ammo on the arrows, and they shot some of the Hilltop people, and the ones that died, they actually explained that they didn't die because they were shot with those arrows and they had maybe that walker blood on it, that they actually died from the complications that the wound itself caused, because they don't have medical facilities or antibiotics or the proper medication.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, that's my take on it. That it's kind of difficult you think you got it, and then it becomes a little bit confusing.
Right.
Yeah, but like they also said, like if you was to, I know this is gross, but in the episode where they chopped Bob's leg off and ate it, and then he let them know later that he had been bitten, and he told them they eat tainted meat. Well, they actually say that you could eat the tainted meat because actually the virus is already in them. So that wouldn't really necessarily cause a person to turn. just because they ate that meat.
Right. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. But what doesn't make too much sense is, I said Andrea got that blood splattered into her eye, and nothing happened. But then,
Maybe it's
with Father Gabriel, him and Negan were trying to escape that sanctuary trailer, and they camouflaged them all in goo, and Gabriel lost his eye because of it.
Yeah, like Anna said, it's the severe infection that sets in from the wounds where they're getting wounded, and then I guess it's not proper care or gore. And maybe talking about the blood spatter in the eye, maybe, I don't know, Walking Dead does contradict themselves.
That they do.
So, yeah, so, and one, like this, for instance, where it didn't hurt Andrea and it did cause harm to Gabriel.
Right. Huh. I mean,
and they even admit that they contradict themselves, so I guess they're okay with that.
Yeah, it's hard whenever they try to say one thing then say another, but I guess they're just trying to keep everybody from knowing exactly what happened. I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, well, like they say, they like to keep us thinking.
Yeah, but then of course, you got the mysterious flu at the prison whenever season 4, and then season 4, which is another one that they never really discussed, that the flu reached through the prison, killing a lot of the people from Woodbury. I mean, the disease is first discovered by the doctor, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. He says its symptoms, yeah, it's a subramanian, or I don't know. Anyways, he says the symptoms are an indicator of disease. Well, yeah, of course, symptoms are an indicator of disease. It doesn't make much sense. But
Christine brings up, she's asked a question.
Okay.
So everyone has the virus within them, no matter what. How you die, you will turn. But if bitten by a walker, you would definitely die unless a limb can be amputated.
Right.
You want to take that?
Well, sure. I'm thinking what that is. At first, whenever they were doing that, I think that they thought that if the walker, if it got into the bloodstream, that's probably what killed you. But I'm thinking what's killing you is once you get amputated, you lose so much blood, and then of course proper wound care, which they can't really do all too much. They don't have the facilities and don't have the everything to change the wrappings and and they can't do, the only thing they can do is cauterize the wound. But I'm figuring that they're dying from the infection that might set in, more than being bit from any kind of bacteria sets in, because that thing in our mouth is disgusting. I'm sure everything in a walker's mouth is even more disgusting.
Oh, it's even terrible. It's worse, yeah. Well, Anna brings up a good point. Maybe it has to do with a person's antibodies. Getting back to talking about Andrea and Gabriel. Right.
Yeah, I agree with the antibody thing, because, and we're going to get into that in a couple minutes, but because I have a whole theory on how the antibodies and everything affects everybody. But the Herschel says something that the apocalypse diseases were known to spread between animals. Well, the pigs got sick and they had to kill all the pigs. And I always thought that the blood from the eyes was a whole separate plot twist that was not never mentioned, but I think it has to go with the mysterious flu and even the animal theory, because the in season 4, episode 3, in isolation, Daryl, Michonne, Tyrese, and Bob go into a veterinary college, and when they get in there, they discover a bunch of infected walkers in there, and they have bloody eyes in there as well. So it might come from animals. Animals do get sick just like people do. And also, Sasha in one of those episodes noticed a bunch of rat carcasses on the fence. So it wasn't the girl that
Lizzie.
Who? Lizzie, yeah.
Lizzie.
Aren't they feeding the walkers?
Yeah, she is.
So that's the rat carcasses, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, so it's yeah, but yeah, I mean, is it animal, mineral, or vegetable? I don't know. Animals have a lot of the same diseases that humans do, so I'm figuring it all has a mortality rate. I know that during a lot of reading on the internet, the top 3 infections that people are saying that the zombie that created the zombie virus was actually SARS, acute bronchitis, or viral hemorrhagic fever. All the symptoms to each of those match what they say the Walking Dead have, and the high fever and everything, and it all spreads extremely easily between people. Hemorrhagic fever and SARS and all that is communicable, and of course the mortality rate for most of that is 40 to 50%. So that would tie in with, I mean, if the people turned after they died, so it's not actually the walkers that are killing you, it's the virus that killed you first. So, but I know that's where it gets to the biggest question ever asked, and the one that they say they're never going to answer, is how that it all started. What was it that they said in World Beyond, Teresa, about how it started?
There was one of the in the episode where it tells Huck's backstory, where she was a soldier, where they're walking through some building or whatever, going in to save some people. One of the soldiers starts talking about he heard it came from space, and that a guy that had been in space came home, and he brought it was a space spore, and that he got on a plane, and while in flight he turned. And when the plane landed, it was like, it was a plane full of walkers.
Right.
Kind of goes back to that webisode of plot, whatever. What was that plot number? I can't, I never watched it, so.
Yeah, I didn't ever.
But I thought that was cool how they.
I watched it, but I didn't really pay too much attention way back then.
I thought that was cool how they brought that up in World Beyond, because it's kind of like a little joke,
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I can see that one. I don't think that it actually came from outer space. I think that's
no. Robert Kirkman joke back when he first started the comics. He started in the early episodes. People would, he has these things in the back. I think it's called hack news or something like that. Hack letters. And people would ask him like what started it, and he would joke and say it was aliens.
Right.
Yeah, and so I think that's where all of that just kind of stemmed from.
Gotcha. Yeah. I don't know. It might be.
It goes back to that webisode of what I think that's where all that just kind of stems from.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. I don't know.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. I guess we're trying to still get the kinks out.
We are not professionals, people. We are not professionals.
No, we are not. That I can promise you on that one. Well, let's. Now, it wasn't aliens. What I think we need to do is find a disease that we have right now that affects everyone, regardless of whether or not you've been bitten. Something that can kill its victims, and something that was around when the apocalypse began. And I'm pretty much thinking that that's the everyday flu. Well, go ahead.
I just noticed Mike asked a very interesting question. Mike Giordano. I am not good in pronouncing some of these names. How about when people pass away of a non-bite victim? How do they turn?
Well, if it's already inside you, then you're going to turn no matter what. Now the question is how? How did you get it inside you? Well, I mean, I don't know how it got inside you. I mean, we get sick all the time. You know, we breathe in, breathe out. We get sick all the time. So, I mean, how does somebody get cancer? I don't know. I can't answer that.
Christine says, so at the start of the ZA, did the virus spread through the air or contact? Because people weren't bitten initially.
Right. Well, I don't know. All that I know is, you know, whenever Walking Dead started, Rick got shot, and they never went into anything. But then when Fear started, whenever the I'm pretty sure it was in the when I first heard it was over a car radio, and they were talking about a flu outbreak hitting Los Angeles, and that flu outbreak was hitting 4 other states at the same time outside of California. And I know that when Madison went to school and she talked to Principal Artie, he said a lot of kids had called out sick with the flu that very day. He said something like half of them or 3/4 of them were out sick. And we know that Alicia's boyfriend got sick. So, I mean, you know, everything goes along with what's going on with them is that what causes the flu is nausea and
How
coughing.
did he get sick?
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Mike asked again, do you think they will reveal what happened in either World Beyond or Fear? Well, Robert Kirkman just remarked about this a couple of months ago. He said that maybe after The Walking Dead is over with, maybe some few years after it's done and over with, he might come out and tell what started it, but he said most likely he probably won't.
I don't think he will, because for the simple fact is he doesn't know either. I mean,
I don't think he'll ever tell. I think it's just gonna be. It'll always be that mystery.
Right. And of course, you know, with the flu that killed everybody at the beginning of it all, I think that the flu that went through the prison is the same flu that killed everybody at the beginning of it. It was just a different variant of the same flu.
Yeah.
So I think that, to me, that's the cause of the virus, the zombie apocalypse. But I know, yeah, I'm into conspiracy theories, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation out there, a lot about this, about what caused it, and some people think they have the answer,
Right.
and there are some wild tales or ideas.
Right. Yep. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe some of the people that are listening tonight have an idea, because I enjoy trying to figure this stuff out. I don't look too much online until this past week, because I don't want everything ruined, and I don't want stuff to influence what I thought one
Right.
way.
Right. Me too, Anna. Anna says, I hope I don't get the flu. Me either.
Ain't that the truth?
Christine says it's COVID.
It's COVID? Well,
yeah.
It might be. If you start seeing people animated, I think it's time to get the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah. Yeah. Just don't cough while you're out in public.
Yeah, sure. Well, I know that I like potholes like everybody else, so I think that we're going to do a couple more shows on what plot holes we think are our top 10, and I want to put it out to everybody here to tell us what your plot holes are, and maybe we can get into those as well. I know that our next week's episode is going to be a compare and contrast of the movie Child's Play. We're going to watch the first Child's Play movie, and then we're going to watch the remake from 2019. And next week we're going to discuss the two movies, whether we liked them or not, and everything. Teresa, you have anything else you would like to say for tonight?
No, I guess I'm good. I appreciate everybody that came, that's listening, that commented, and you're all the best. I mean, we really do appreciate y'all being here.
Yep, and we enjoy doing this, and if you all enjoy it, just let us know so that we can know that we're on the right track here. So
I'm beginning to get a little bit more comfortable with it, so so just bear with us, and we won't sound like complete unprofessionals.
Well, you might not. I can't say about me. So if I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Maybe you got something out of it. I know I learned a lot, so thank you for coming.
Thanks.
And thank you, Teresa, for being here tonight.
Thanks for setting it up, Joe. And I want to thank Mike behind the scenes there.
Yep, we got to thank Mike and Blueprint Entertainment for bringing this together and putting us on the track to bring the. Another one of those glitches there.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody. Good night, Teresa.
Good night.